Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and this is my review of Star Wars Clone Wars Episode 8 of Season 7, Together Again. This is the conclusion of the Ahsoka arc, the middle arc of the final season, or the second arc of the final season, leading into the end game, and finally, it was a good episode. It was a good episode. I was really not happy with the previous 3 episodes leading up to this, and I mean, like, not happy at all. The first 4 episodes, the Bad Batch arc, excellent. Loved it. Won a whole Disney Plus animated series with those group of 5 guys taking on clunkers. That's what I want to see. But in regards to the Ahsoka arc and meeting Trace and Rafa, I was just, what in the hell is going on here? Right. The first episode, yeah, I understand it's the meeting and it's the gaining of their trust, but it was so dumb because the actors for Trace and Rafa don't feel like they're trying. It's not that the writing is exceptionally bad. It's just that the voice talent is not good. And Ahsoka is also trying to hide who she is, and it just doesn't feel like it flows. And of course, the second episode has them going and getting the, stealing the or getting the spice from the Pikes in order to then deliver it, or for the Pikes in order to deliver it to get the credits. And then they get captured, and then they spend the last episode trying to escape, only to get captured again. This episode, they end up back right where they started off. That's the thing with the last episode. They get captured and they're right back where they began. And I just kind of felt like, okay, we've already been here before. We clearly know Ahsoka knows how to get out. No one knows she's a Jedi. Okay, great. But this actually worked out okay because it actually had some stakes to an extent, and it actually had some solid character work and some solid character motivation. So while Ahsoka is in the middle of this sister quarrel between Trace and Rafa, she understands that she's going to need them to trust her in order to get them out of there. Like, her Jedi training is kicking in. Now, neither one of them trust Jedi, period. Neither one of them trusts the Jedi. And it makes a lot of sense when you know their backstory from the last episode. But really, in this case, she's got to put her foot down, and she does. And when she does, she more or less sacrifices herself, so to speak, or serves herself up as bait in order to let the two of them go, in order to go get the spice that they had conveniently ditched off world to come back in order to collect the money and to get Ahsoka. But Ahsoka knew that there's no spice because they dumped it when they were out in space. So she was like thinking that they're just going to take off. They're just going to go be saved. And then she'll use her Jedi training as a way to get out of there. Well, in the process of trying to execute her plan, she does end up getting a bunch of thermal detonators and plotting to destroy this facility in order to further hurt the Pikes, which is great. It's her still being a Jedi, still being a hero, still being a good person. In that moment, though, she does get to see Maul. Again, he's alive, he's still in charge, and the Pikes are afraid of him. And that was some pretty interesting little characterization on behalf of the villains, where the villains are not just mindless gangsters. It's like, no, they know that they are working with a much worse person. And if they don't actually accomplish this, it's going to be hell on them, and they are afraid of Maul. And that to me is awesome. I love that because Maul is such an intimidating villain that it's good to see his influence spreads to other people and they are actively afraid of him. Well, from there, Ahsoka gets caught again because she's not as, without her lightsabers, she's not as powerful as she wants to be. And then, you know what? Trace and Rafa show back up after getting more spice that they took from another Pike storage unit after beating the manager and a bunch of little guys. That scene was kind of pointless to me. But what made the most sense about it, though, was it was all about Rafa and her character development, because she basically was like, I'm going to go back and save Ahsoka just to one-up her. Because she does like her, but you can tell it's a lot of that, like, I don't want to feel like I owe her one, so let's go back and actually do this. So they did the right thing, and in the moment of coming back to do the right thing, they end up actually causing an explosion and getting out of there. And as they escape back to Coruscant, they are confronted by Bo-Katan and Yuren Ren, who I only saw the name in the credit sequence. That Sabine's mom, which I thought was really cool. And basically, Bo-Katan's like, hey, we need you. We have to go back. We know what's up because everyone's on Mandalore. Like, they're leading into the siege of Mandalore. And then Ahsoka goes with them, leading into the siege, leading into the final half of the final season, and finally giving us a point of actually being happy with where things are. And I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was entertaining. I liked the fact that they gave us something to do finally for Ahsoka that was like her being a hero, her using her Jedi abilities, having a little bit of mystery, a little bit of intrigue. And honestly, the show gets better once the Mandalorians show up. And that might just be me being biased because I love the Mandalorian and I want to know what's going to happen with Death Watch and the Darksaber in Mandalorian season 2. But at this point, Bo-Katan is saying Death Watch is done. Now they have to go basically stop Maul to save Mandalore. And that is where we're going to be going next. And that to me is going to be a lot of kick-ass stuff. This arc in general had to get to where it had to get to, I think, because they were trying to just set the stage for the finale. And they had to show us, after all these years, that Ahsoka is still a hero. I don't think anyone would have forgotten that, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know if it needed 4 episodes of the final season to really tell a story that could have been done in 2, at the most 3. But we are where we are. It's over now. And I can then skip ahead to skip those 3 episodes after rewatching the season and then just go right into this and then right into the siege. And I think that's going to be okay. Because I, like a lot of people, was hating this arc. Did the arc redeem itself in the end? The answer to that is no. It did come off a lot better than I thought it would, but it didn't fully redeem the arc. It's not worth rewatching. If Trace and Rafa spent 4 episodes getting built up only to just go away, then there's no point, because they are just characters that you don't care about. And they've done that a lot in the Clone Wars. It's one of the worst parts of the Clone Wars, showing the moments that don't advance the story. And that is one of the biggest problems Filoni has. And we wasted weeks, I feel like, trying to get to this point when they should have just gone right into the Siege of Mandalore. And I think everyone would have been happier. But then again, Ahsoka did need some downtime away from the Jedi Council, away from the protection of the Jedi, the protection of Anakin, the protection of Obi-Wan. And in that regard, I can see why this arc is necessary. But now that it's over, you can skip by all the stuff that just is boring. But I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions on this. Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys all later. Have yourself a great day. Thank you again for watching, and peace out.